if you do that without being original in certain things, I think that could be a bit problematic, and you get a lot of negative comments, I think. Right, hello everybody. So it's time to do, as the title suggests, just have another look at the YouTube facts and figures, because obviously this was, as I said in the last time I did this was a project which is now ongoing. It will remain ongoing until I feel no need to do it anymore, which will probably be, you know, when I keel over. But yeah, it's to look at, now we've crossed the threshold of the first year of monetization. So that started in August last year, so I'm going to give you the August to August figures, so you can see, you know, with the amount of views, how that equates into revenue and stuff like that. And then which is always a bit, you know, how much, it's like the Antiques Roadshow, innit? How much is it worth? So we could just talk about that. And then I thought I'd just have a chat about YouTube in general and how things have gone and what I've learned this far down the line, things that I've changed, things that I've worked on, and sort of stuff for the future really. But yeah, I just thought they'd be interesting, so I'm going to find somewhere to park. It's quite late on a Saturday, and I'm debating whether to go to the Roundtree, because the Roundtree place is an important part in the channel. So I'll see if I can get there. If not, I'll go somewhere else and do it. But let's go and have a look anyway, and discuss that, and hopefully find that interesting, particularly for people that wanted to start channels, and where they, you know, can sort of cut out the middleman with the aggravation and all that sort of side of it, from my point of view anyway. So let's go and do that. I'll see you at the stationary part of this video, or wherever it's going to be. Right, so here we are. So this is Saturday late afternoon. I thought it might rain, it's a bit black, but I thought it'd be interesting, as I said on the ride up here, just to talk about, now we've covered you know, pretty much exactly a year of monetization of the channel, and is to give you an idea of what the figures are, how much the channels earn in ad revenue. So my only revenue that comes from this channel is from advertising that AdSense or Google puts onto the YouTube channel. But I think it's worth just recapping how you get to monetization just briefly, so bear with me. So to be able to monetize your channel, to get money from the ad revenue, you need to have at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. So it doesn't matter in what time scale you do that. You know, if after a week you've got 1,000 subscribers and you've had 4,000 hours, you might have been able to do that from one video. You can monetize. I'm pretty sure you can do that. You might correct me there, but that's essentially how it works. So we achieved, or I reached that target in the first 6-7 months, and the watch time actually I think is relatively easier to achieve than the subscriber side of it. I think, from my perspective, it was anyway. So I reached the criteria, then monetized. It takes a couple of weeks for it to go through the system, and then when Google or AdSense put the adverts on your channel, you get a little slice of the pie, if you like. So, and because I had that 6-7 months, excuse me, 6-7 months of putting videos out, I already had those videos that then could all suddenly be monetized, so you could then click on and monetize those. So I might have had, I can't remember how many I had at that point, I don't know, 30 or 40 videos, something like that can all start earning money. Now I did learn very quickly that even though I had music on some of those videos, because my audio was very bad, and that's another thing I'll cover again in a minute. is that those videos with music went into dispute because of copyright. Now, although I was using copyright-free music, I was getting those from I think it was Upbeat, I think it was company. They went into dispute. Fortunately, no one disputed those, and I could carry on using them. But if you don't win the dispute as such, and I think the way it worked for me is that nobody contested it, which they wouldn't have done. That's fine. But if anybody contests that and you get what they call 3 strikes, your channel's taken off. There's a very famous YouTuber, Mick Beata, who does music, guitar and all this sort of stuff videos, and he's in real pain with it at the moment because one company have disputed his thing. You get this fair usage thing, but that's another story. So we started monetizing last August. It's about halfway through August, and in the first 2 weeks it actually already kicked over something like £70. So that was really good, and I was quite shocked because my idea was to see if it could turn over maybe £100–150 a month once it's really working and doing its thing, and I didn't think much further beyond that. So obviously now we're about 18 months into this project, which is an ongoing project. It's not that I'm going to stop. We're now up to we're just getting towards 5,000 subscribers, which is great. And thanks to those people that do subscribe, because it's fantastic, and there's a nice community now of people that we talk to quite regularly and bounce back off, which is really good, and they give me really good constructive feedback, which I like. So how many views have we had in total pretty much since the beginning? So not since monetization, but since beginning. So it's about 920,000 views. So I'll have a little celebration when I get to the million. So that's great, and the YouTube account gives you all the analytics for that. But how much now then? This is the big one. How much has it actually earned from ad revenue since August last year? So we're now up to £2,330. So that's the revenue that's been paid to me directly from AdSense for all the views. And one of the analytics that you get is it tells you roughly how much you're getting per 1,000 views, how much advertisers are paying you. This is an average, how much advertisers are paying you or paying AdSense, and how much of that pie you're getting. So it does vary from video to video, but I get about £3.50 to £4 per 1,000 views, which I think is about average for my sort of channel. Right, so let's look at how much one of my videos would have earned me. So my most popular videos, and strangely they're on one particular bike, I don't know if you can guess what it is. So is actually the Honda NC750X. That's an incredibly popular bike on YouTube, and luckily it's one of my favourite bikes. So I've been really lucky to review my own bike that I had. It was one of my first videos I actually did here. The sort of early incarnation of the 750X, not the 700. And then I did the next incarnation of that, and then the very latest one, the sort of 2025 model. So if we take the 2025 episode that I did, that episode has had about 43,000 views. That's one of my top rated videos. And that's earned me, that video alone, since it came out, has earned me about £165. So that's just from ad revenue. Now, if you add that together, when you sort of look at it, if you add that together with the other 2 videos that I've done, they've all had a similar amount of views actually. So I'm probably on about £400 from those 3 videos. So that's quite surprising, isn't it? And you think, well, that, what did it cost me to put those videos together? Let's take the last one. So you get a rough idea. Well, the bike wasn't mine. I went to Doble's in, I was called Doble's in Coulston, and borrowed their bike for a few hours. Very kindly, they've done it for a few times, which is great. And it's good to build good relationships with those people and be upfront in what you're doing. So they lent me the bike. So it didn't cost me anything. I had to get the fuel to get there, you know, a couple of quid really. It's not that far from me. And then, all right, you could build in the time editing and all the rest of it, but I find actually editing, I really enjoy that side of the work. So it doesn't take me very long. A video like that to put together, I can easily do that in one day. I can film it, go there, film it, come back, edit it, upload it easily in one day. So, and most of my videos are done in one day. You know, a video like this, where I'm just fairly static, you know, I've done an intro riding up, and then I'll ride off. And this side of it, I can have these done in 3-4 hours. You know, not a great deal of time really. But that's just the way that I seem to be working. But again, we'll come back to that a little bit later. So you can see that it is viable. Now, I think there is a thing for saying that, well, you could just pick easy topics, you know, to get lots and lots of views. But I think if you do that without being original in certain things, I think that could be a bit problematic, and you get a lot of negative comments, I think, when you do that just for clicks. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, say going to the superbike factory isn't a way of getting clicks and views, but it is a subject that you have to have some sort of interest in, and I do. It just happens that it's quite popular. But a lot of my videos don't generate those sort of views. I don't go down the route of clickbaiting. I try not to do that. I think that turns people off as well. I think if you're going to put something in the title, then have that in the content. I think that's really important. So, covering off the earnings. So, is the channel earning enough to pay for itself? Not really, depending how much stuff you include in it. It's certainly paid for the kit that I've bought. Just, I'd say, the cameras and the laptop and stuff like that. So it has wiped its face, I'd say. I'm not going to include the bikes in that. The bikes I might have bought anyway, although I do buy all my own bikes, so I don't get given anything like that. None of the kit, the cameras or the bikes are given to me. They're all mine, so I can say what I like about them, which is good. So if you added the bikes, then it's not viable at all. But I did have to buy the cameras. You know, when you look at the 360 cameras, it was about 400, I think. I can't remember now. And the action cameras, you know, £200-300, and the Pocket 3 was about 400. So reasonable amount of money on that. But I do get my money's worth out of them, I think. Yes, revenue-wise, it works well. Then you get the other bit of revenue, which is only, for me personally, is only when people are sending me kit to review or look at, and you get to keep that bit of kit. And it's not that I sell that kit, I don't, but you get to keep it, and I suppose you can sell it on if you want to, but I'm very selective in what I take to review, in as much as I've got to have a use for it. If I don't have a use for it, what's the point of reviewing it? Because I'm not going to give it a decent review. And I still go down the adage of, or the policy that I have, if it's something I'm not interested in, or has no use, I won't review it. I won't even take it just because I want that bit of kit to flog. Isn't pointless. It's got to have a use for me. And if I did have it, and I thought it wasn't a very good piece of kit, I would just send it back. I won't review it because I don't want to badmouth anybody. I just won't review it. Simple as that. And that's how I do my sort of policy on review stuff. What I've noticed though, interestingly about kit, is that as we're now coming into that sort of Christmas season, I'm getting contacted by companies again to review stuff. So to look at but I've now noticed the difference in the criteria they want. Some want static pictures of me wearing stuff, and I don't know why anybody would want that. And you know, maybe they want a 90-second input into a video and stuff like that. I don't mind that. That's fine. So you know, I've got 3 things coming up. But I try to look at those things in a different way to everybody else if I can, you know, that it might have a different use. I've got another dash cam coming, which is a specific dash cam. It doesn't have CarPlay, but we're going to look to do that as a training aid for some of the IAMS riders and people like that who might mount it on the bike, and you can replay that straight away to your pupil, and you can then point out what they might need to change and all that rest of it. So we watch out for those videos when they come up. So you get those bits and pieces, but there is a living to be made from YouTube. But I wouldn't be one of those people that would throw all my eggs in one basket so early on and think, well, I've given up my job to do this. There's no way I could give up my job to earn enough to do this. But as I get to retirement, then it's going to be, if you like, a side hustle that I can make some money on, but also really enjoy doing it. And am I still getting something out of this? Oh, enormous amount, particularly around learning how to edit and create the videos, where I think my editing and stuff like that is getting better and better. Well, in my view it is. And understanding what looks good on screen and what might keep people's interest. You know, I have to be quite hard with myself in not putting stuff out that I think, no, that's just not quite good enough. I'll do that again. I've had probably half a dozen videos which I've not bothered putting out because I didn't think they were that good, or not good enough, let's say. So what are the couple of things that I've learned in YouTube from this sort of year, 18 months? One is the unpredictability of it, and knowing when you put a video out, whether it's going to be really popular very quickly or not. You know, stuff you might work really hard on, you think, wow, this is going to be fantastic, people are going to love this, and nobody watches it. And you think, how does that work? And stuff which are almost off the cuff episodes. This one I'm showing you now in particular about your last bike, you know, what keeps your bike on riding for longer, stirred enormous comment and interest. And it made me realise that those sort of subjects are quite personal to people, and people like to get your view on it, you know, if it helps them in the future and what they might not have thought about. So I will continue to do content like that and raise awareness of certain subjects and think, well, you know, people wanted to talk about that. Really surprised, really. It's amazing, really. So that gives you a little USP, I think, to cover those little subjects. There's certain types of bikes as well. You know, the Enfields are still very popular, and I love riding Enfields because they're good value and I just like riding them. But I've got quite a mix of bikes now. You know, we've got two Enfields at the moment. We've got the Hunter and this, which we're doing quite a bit of stuff on. We've got the Motor Guzzi, the Stonello, which people are very keen on. I've got the Harley Davidson, which is another bike which is slightly niche, I think, in my area, but I will do more stuff on. And we've now got the Kawasaki W650, which will come into play once I get it back from Dave. So stuff like that. Another thing I noticed was the subscribers, the people that are subscribed that are watching the videos to people that are not unsubscribed. Now, I've said this before about it's not that critical to views, the viewing numbers, how many subscribers you've got. The only thing that subscribers do is that if you've got 100,000 subscribers, you may be guaranteed to get maybe 30,000 views on a video, but not always. And I certainly watch channels that may be in the 100 to 200,000 subscribers, and they may still only get 10,000 views on a video. So you think, well, what are the other 190,000 people doing? It's just sitting idly on their phone. They've clicked on you and they're not watching it. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? And if like my channel, there's a lot of others like me with smaller channels, which may have between sort of 3 and 10,000 subscribers, and you might get 20, 30,000 people watch your video. So that's quite interesting. You're earning the revenue, but you haven't got the subscribers. So it's not that critical to have lots of subscribers. I think it's nice to have subscribers that are, which have a little vested interest in your channel because you're doing stuff that they like. And I love that, because you get your own little community. And I like getting some suggestions from subscribers saying, oh, could you cover that? Could you go and have a look at that? And sometimes I think, oh yeah, I will. And I go out that day and I'll do a video on it for some people. So I quite like that. So Yeah, I think, and that's one of the reasons why I chose not to ask people to subscribe, not in a silly way, but I think if you want to subscribe, that's great, and you welcome aboard everybody. But I think it can be a bit frustrating when you spend 2 minutes telling people, oh, if you subscribe, it helps the channel. It sort of doesn't really. I don't think it does quite so much, not as much as people think. Views do and likes do, but subscribing, I don't think it does. So that's in my view anyway. And I think people get a little bit weary of that constant, please subscribe, you know. You will or you won't you? If you like the content, you will. And that's why what I do, I tend to put other videos, clips of my other videos at the end. You get these little cards you can put up. And if it's related to the video you've just done, people might click on it and they might think, oh yeah, well I like that stuff, so that's good. And that's what I tend to do, rather than keep pushing people to subscribe. You know, if you want to, you know, because you like what I'm doing, then that's great. So that's how I tend to do my stuff. That's what I've learned. You know, I don't think it's changed how many subscribers I've got by not telling people to subscribe. I'm not going to tell people not to subscribe, because it's great if you do, but I think it turns people off a little bit. So before I bore you senseless now with any more of this, I suppose it's just interesting to just sort of say, where do I see this going, and am I still happy doing it? Well, and it's the second answer to that. Well, the second question, am I happy doing it? I love it. I really enjoy doing the channel. I think it's interesting. It's woken my brain up. I'm getting more creative as I go on. I'm using my brain far more than I ever was before. When I thought, I'd have spoken about this before, where I thought my brain was just starting to, you know, vegetate a little bit. And it's given me like a new lease of life, really. And I think it's great. And it's got me to move down into other avenues, where I've now done a video for one of the cafes I've been to, and it's do a video for them. Did it all free, just as a test and a trial to see if I can make videos like that. And I'm also going to do a short film, which will be motorbike related, and it will go on the channel. But it's going to be for a competition. It's to do with a motorbike filming competition for next year. That's the idea anyway. Make a short film, 5, 6, 7 minutes long, and really work at that, to sort of hone my skills a little bit in filming. So from that perspective, I think it's a fantastic thing. I just highly recommend anybody do it. You never know why people watch your videos or watch videos. It makes no sense at all sometimes. So that's why when everybody asks me about YouTube, I said, just do it. Just grab a little camera and have a go. You know, get your stuff out there and see what happens, you know. And it's got me riding more, and I do ride all year round. As you know, I don't mind riding in the winter. I don't like riding when it's pouring with rain, but sometimes you can't help it. I know some people have said to me, commented a few times about, you know, don't say there's a biking season. And I suppose there isn't, is there, for a lot of people? We ride all year round when we can, and I don't like my bike sitting in the garage. There will be bikes I won't bother riding during the winter, but bikes like this and that, I will get out and ride. One, because people are sending me kit to try, you know, whether it's wet weather gear, heated gloves. Yes, I've been sent heated gloves to test. So, and that should be interesting, because I haven't got any bikes now with heated grips. Well, I used to have loads. All my bikes had heated grips. Now none of them have, so the heated gloves might be very good. And I still like those projects. I like now picking up a project, a bit like the Tiger 90 that I've done. You know, the Africa 500, which is now with a colleague, and that's off up in it's in Ireland now, and it's going to go up to the Nordics and all that sort of stuff, which is great. And I'm going to keep in contact with those people. So there's plenty more stuff to come. There's more bikes that I want to be riding. I want to get myself on those BSAs. I want to try the Scrambler. I want to try the Bantam. I hopefully be doing that next week or the week after. But I've got to go quite a long way to find them bikes, because there's nobody near me now. And you know, I'll be going back to different dealers and picking up bikes and going to Billy's and borrowing interesting bikes for everybody to watch. So, yeah, great. If there's anything you think you'd like me to look at, subjects you might like me to cover, I'll put my 5 pennyworth in. and give you my thoughts on it. But you can email me as well. Remember, you can email me. The email address is in the description, or under my sort of content thing. So do look that you can email me directly if there's questions you want to ask me and stuff like that. Right, so I hope you found that interesting. If you're looking to start a video, a YouTube channel, do it. Whatever subject it is, do it. It's great, certainly for youngsters, but people in later life like me and you. It just keeps your brain working. You know, get out there, do it. It's not complicated. And if you want me to put some videos together about how to do editing again and all the rest of it, I'll do the best I can for you. But yeah, and all those people from other channels that occasionally comment and all the rest of it, you know, thanks so much, because it means quite a lot when people do that, and I like that. And the regulars that comment, and you know, we comment to each other, and it's just nice. I like the little community we got at the moment. It's fantastic. And when we get to 5,000 subscribers, the goal is to get to 5,000 before the end of the year, and hopefully we'll do that. And you know, onwards and upwards, as it were. But thanks for watching, and please ride safe, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care, everybody. Ride safe.